Come on now. There we go.
Yeah.
Alright. A nigga hasn't eaten dinner after this. I'ma eat something. Cause today I was like, I need some eggs and proper pancakes and a giant jug of coffee. And guess which shop I had to go to get that?
Mm, I don't know. Spa, Shoprite. Who knows?
Nah, I went to Mug and Bean.
Mug and Bean sells good food, actually.
I've only ever eaten their treats there. Like their real food, I never have. I'm not really even interested, bro. I'm not.
Why not?
Bruh, do you know how much they charge me for those pancakes?
How much?
75 rand.
Damn.
I mean, they are big and they're delicious, but it's a pancake. So that's ridiculous. Straight up ridiculous. So,
Yeah. But they got good food, though. I've never had breakfast there. I just had like a burger, fries,
don't
basic
remind
stuff.
me of fries, man. I used to be the fry nigga. Can't eat those anymore. Life ain't fair.
Damn. I heard you talk about the kidney yesterday. I was like, damn, bro.
Oh, yeah. Nigga wanted my kidney, bro. It's like, nigga, you serious? Yeah, he was serious. So, something similar happened to you?
Nah, man, I got all my organs, fortunately.
Imagine. They wanted to take
Fortunately.
mine, bruh. Unreal.
Nah, like, that's crazy. Like, I saw someone say we got two organs, like two kidneys for a reason.
For a reason. Instead of, it's a spare tire like that retarded doctor, bro.
That's crazy, man. For the longest time, my favorite manga was, let me get the name right. I sold my life for 10,000 yen per year. Have you ever read that?
Nah.
Yeah, that was my favorite manga, like, for the longest time. I think it's like a one shot, if not five chapters. I think it's five chapters or something like that. So, but this guy, right, he's in his 20s and he's like really poor, bro. He has a part time job and he's struggling to make ends meet. And then he finds this shop, that like mysterious looking shop, and then he goes in there. And then they basically tell him that, yo, you can sell your life. And we basically measure it by how happy you are, how, like, the value of your lifespan is basically valued on how happy you are, or like how much of a fulfilling life you have.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy, bro, his life is so miserable. He only gets like 300,000 yen, which is like $1,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they take everything and they leave him with like 3 months.
Damn.
And in that 3 months, he just goes like day to day and just lives his life and meets this girl, the supervisor from the shop, who makes sure that he doesn't off himself before the 3 months are over, making sure that pretty much he lives all of the days until the last one.
Okay.
Yeah, so for the longest time, that used to be like my favorite manga, bro.
How did it end?
Well, he died in the end, but by the end, he had like meaning, and like he actually became much more happy than he was ever gonna be, because he started appreciating everything, and he actually fell in love with the girl that was watching him, and like a lot of things started happening, which made his like life look like he was going to survive because he was becoming happier and stuff. But like the deal is a deal, so he died in the end.
Okay.
Yeah, but the manga was taking on so many philosophical themes, like um, how you should value your life. Like what brings your life meaning? Is it money? Is it spending time with people? Is it doing things that matter? Is it like lots of things are touched on in that manga? I remember I read it like when I was 17 or something, and it really stuck with me.
Damn. I guess it's an old manga,
Yeah,
huh?
It is, yeah, it is a pretty old. It's actually based on a book, I think. I'm not sure, like a Japanese book, I think. I'm not sure, but it's really old. I think it's like uh, 2013 or something.
Okay, it's not that bad.
Yeah, yeah. Before Japan got compromised, now.
Oh, poor Japan. Though I don't feel sorry for it anymore. At this point, I don't even mourn it. It's like, well, you had a nice run, but as soon as that bomb dropped, there was no going back. There was no going back. Okay, everybody, we got 5 people in. What's up? Today we're just having a garage talk. What is a garage talk? Literally, guy talk, locker room talk, that serious stuff. Me and Pierce are both fried in the brain today, but had to deliver a promise that we're gonna live stream again. So we're having that garage talk. All kinds of toxic masculinity will be heard here. So if you can't handle it, you can get the heck up on out right now. But feel free to ask any topics in the chat over there. And I see Saito saying something. Sorry, Coffee, I have found the way of the hunchback. So I will go back to my mother's basement eating milk and cookies. I will stop producing my work the way of the hunchback. Dude, why would you do such a thing? You quitting? There ain't no quitters here, bro. You think just because I'm playing a game, I quit? I finished chapter 26 last week. You can't be quitting. What do you think this is, bro? Get your ass out of the basement, right? Leave the milk alone and get back to work. This ain't it. But anyway, how am I doing? I have a headache. But it'll be alright. Bloodness says, yo, was just listening to your interview with Knucklehead on Patreon. A old video, one of my favorite things to listen. Oh, yeah, Knucklehead, we were talking about them niggas in the community. How them niggas how they treat their own media, their stereotypes and so on. Let's actually talk about that. See, now this is the nice thing about the garage talk. Things can come in randomly and we talk about it. Pierce, give us an example of, the community niggas running with their own stereotypical stuff, or your take on
it. You mean black people?
Yes.
I mean, you gotta be specific, bro. There's different kinds of flavors of black people. You got the American kind, you got the African
Okay, let's
kind,
talk about our niggas right here.
Oh, our niggas right here?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like most of them are trapped with the whole concept of making kids, drinking, getting trapped by drugs, the basic stuff, bro. And it's sad because in my street, I've seen guys, from a young age, they're already done, bro. They're already checked out.
Bro, okay, from teenage age?
Yeah, dude, guys in primary school is done. His life is already done, bro. Rap ship down the chimney, bro. Flying with Santa right now.
And why is that? From your findings, so that people don't be like, oh, you have a negative bias and whatnot.
It could be a multitude of reasons, honestly. The problem I feel is mostly the upbringing, the lack of stable families, stable households. I feel like those are, because I see it happening in my household. Now I'm not talking about people outside of my reach. Now I'm talking about people inside my reach. My own people, my own blood, right? I can see it happening, right? A lack of a stable household. Someone who's gonna tell you, don't do this, do this. That's very important, and I feel like we've lost that in the modern climate. Yeah, you can say it's toxic masculinity. You can say whatever you like. That's the beauty of the mouth. it is of the beholder, but that's important, and I see it here because kids need a parent. They need a stable parent, two parents. That's why it takes two people to make a kid.
Oh, deep.
That's why it takes two people to make a kid because, like, me myself, I've actually been raised by a single mother, right? But that single mother really tried her best to keep me out the streets, keep me out of anything toxic, right? So, but she's an old school kind of mom. These new school, like, someone younger than me already has 3 kids, bro, in my street. What do they know about life?
Yeah, they would say that is life. I got 3 kids, nigga. Yeah. And you don't. Ha ha ha.
Yeah, but then what?
Yeah, then what?
Then what? What's the point? You know, when I was in high school, I used to be into nihilism, but not the nihilism that's like, oh my god, there's no point, kill yourself. Not that kind of nihilism. But the nihilism that was like the positive nihilism.
What the heck
do whatever
is...
you want.
Oh.
It's like do whatever you want. It doesn't matter, bro. Like I used to be into that back in high school. I used to be like, don't put so much thought into it. You know, it doesn't matter. You're gonna be a bunch of bones. No one's gonna remember you. You're gonna be the soil. Right? Who cares, bro? Do what you want. I used to be into that. And then as I grew older, the other side of nihilism started to take me. If there's no point to it, why don't you make it a point? You know? Like, if there's no point, maybe you are the point. Stop looking for the point. Find the point inside you. Don't do things just for the sake of doing things. Don't get pregnant just because everybody's getting pregnant. Okay? Don't drink just because it's liquor. No. Like, sometimes we just... The point isn't the point. You are the point. Right? That's why I was talking to this other girl the other day, and she was like, you know, as a girl in this current day and age, it's very difficult to say anything. Not because I'm a woman, not because guys speak louder than girls. No. It's because when you tell someone that motivation is a trap, they don't listen to you. Because everyone is a motivational speaker these days. Right? Everyone needs motivation also. It's like a non-ending cycle. Everyone's a motivator, everyone needs motivation. But everything about motivation is a trap. What you actually need is discipline. Because once you're dependent on motivation, even if it works, even if motivation works, you'll be dependent on it. Once you get burnt out, you'll be like, damn, I need motivation. Damn, I need motivation. You see, that's
what the
looking
girl
outside.
said?
Yeah, we were talking about like back and forth. We were talking about it back and forth. And she was like actually really insightful, bro.
Damn, I mean, everybody can now hear my sexist type of attitude. Okay, nah, that's real cool. That's real cool.
So like, yo, it's very difficult to like pinpoint stereotypes and talk about what's causing them because there's a multitude of reasons, man. But the ones I see close by are just like lack of stable households, lack of like being able to listen to authority, recognizing authority, knowing what authority is. I used to be with this girl, right? And she used to ask me like this is really personal, but I'm just gonna tell you anyway. She used to ask me, like, why am I not bossing her around? Why am I not telling her what to do and stuff? Like, why am I not taking charge and shit? Right? She used to tell me shit like that. And I was telling her, like, yo, who do you think you are? Why do you think you can tell me that? If you want me to take control, I'm not gonna forcefully take control. You're an adult, bro. If you want me to take control, give me control. Trust me enough to know that when I'm telling you no, I know why I'm saying no. Like, that is the first sign that you don't know what you're talking about. What control do you think is like me taking charge, like stripping you of your phone and doing all these things, being possessive? That is not who I am. Like, if you want me to be controlling, you have to give me control. You need to submit by yourself. You need to do it yourself. in your actions, right? In your everything that, like, when we're talking about authority, because I'm trying to tie it back to the broken household, right? You need to know what authority looks like. Everyone is so obsessed with what toxic masculinity is, right? Oh my god, this is toxic. Oh my god, you can't be controlled. Oh my god, this and that. Right? Because obviously everything is the exception these days. Like one guy kills someone, every guy is a killer now. Right? That's what we do. Like we
Yeah.
focus on the exception, right? We focus on that these days. Okay, cool. But listen to this, right? Authority isn't taken by force, bro. Authority is given. It's given. Like you think a leader is someone who always aspires to be a leader. No, he's pushed to it, bro. He's forced on that position because he's the most capable. Because if you
Okay.
have someone who's like an authoritative figure, and he sucks at it, he's not really the leader, is he? That's why people don't listen to like the leaders these days, because they're not really leaders. They were not given the power. They took it by force, and look what happened. That's why we have presidents here in South Africa who don't know what they're doing. Those are not leaders, bro. But what's your take on it? What were you guys talking about in the Patreon talk? Enlighten me, because I'm
That
going on
that
tangents,
it's
right?
an ancient
Going on
video,
so many
bro. It
tangents.
was mostly about them niggas, bro. You know, but you opened up some interesting stuff about authority being given, because if it's taken, most likely some psychopath who's gonna be running the show and everything gonna fall apart, as we see right now. Sometimes authority can be given on the idea that you seem the most capable because you're a great actor, like Biden, Trump, and so on. A lot of so-called leaders these days, it's based on a popularity contest. If he didn't steal the position, he tricked the people by having popular talking points, and that's all there is to it. And it's a damn shame. But it's interesting that that girl said all of that, bruh. I mean, is she some philosopher or something? Does she got a YouTube channel?
Dude, nah, if I tell you her story, you're gonna be shocked. I promise you.
Now let's hear it.
She's actually like not a philosopher. She's like a dropout. She's living at home. She's got no job. She doesn't go to school.
High school
She's like,
dropout?
yeah, like a high school dropout.
Wait, did she get pregnant?
No, she has no kids, if you can believe that.
Now, how did she drop out? What the heck?
Dude, it's crazy. She just said like she just like didn't enjoy school and she just left. She stopped. But then again, she's like Canadian, so
Oh, she's Canadian.
yeah.
So she
But
ain't.
she's not actually Canadian. She's like Asian, but she lives in Canada. She moved there when she was young.
Oh, well, I thought you were talking about a South African. That's why I was totally like, huh? There's no way. There's no way, bro. And I was right. There's no way. So that kind of doesn't count. Okay. So what?
Yeah.
She's a femcel in a way.
I don't know what she is, but she's like kind of a writer. You know, she writes some stuff here and there, and she's a she thinks a lot. That's all I can like deduce from talking to her. She's a person who thinks a lot and observes a lot.
Okay. Oh well, I don't remember the fullness of the conversation I had with Knucklehead. It was too long ago, but it was me mostly asking him about why does the black community do, or why do they allow the stereotypes to flourish in most media? You know, why do they allow Tyler Perry to do what he does? I mean, some Tyler Perry movies are actually good, but a lot of them, well, are just toxic. You know,
Tyler Perry, dude, I don't like Tyler Perry.
I don't blame you. You know, just a giant dude in a dress. Like, bro, what is this? Humiliation ritual and whatnot. But
It's
yeah, going back to stability in the house and stuff like that. Those days are definitely not coming back, man. The nuclear family idea, it's not coming back. And I realize that most people have a distorted image of reality, bro. Like families back in the day, they were not as happy-go-lucky as it looked like in the Bill Cosby show. It just wasn't the case. Dudes were coming in being stepfathers to 6 children, bro. The guy who does that now, we laugh at him senseless. Like, you a simp,
Sure.
you an idiot, what the hell, ha 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 ha. But back then, your grandfather, best believe, bro, married your grandmother and she already had 3 kids with 3 dudes.
Yeah.
And there is like a hidden desire to go back to those days, but those days never really existed. It's like that guy who does the One Punch Man videos when he said, "Where are all the strong Christian men?" They were never there. They were never there, bro. The state was
Must
there,
admit.
the propaganda was there, but you, the so-called strong Christian guy, he never existed. If you actually were like, "I'm strong, I'm Christian," you would be jailed. Hello.
Sure.
So, come on. Come on, man.
Yeah,
So
no,
our distorted history is kind of scary because usually you look to the past to comfort yourself and to use as an example, as a foundation. That you see, if we go back to like 1950s style, living, things would be better. But no, your example of the 1950s comes from a TV show, comes from rhetoric, the actual numbers, the actual realities of it. You can't really find real information unless you ask people who are still alive from those days. You look at the books that are not so popular, then you're going to be shocked out of your mind. So here's a lot of people today not knowing where they're going, where they come from. Where they think they are going is based on what Disney Channel told them. Where they think they come from is based on what Disney Channel told them. You don't know who the hell you are. And it's terrifying. Like, who am I? What have I been doing? Grandma, you lied. Yes, Grandma lied. She lied, bro. And it's a damn shame. There is nothing you can do about it. Now you find yourself just floating in a giant ocean. Not even an ocean, you're floating in space, right? You ain't got no spaceship. You're just drifting. Each time you see what looks like a space station, maybe Coffee Comics can be a space station. You drift on by, you find this place, like, oh man, there's good caffeine here. But I don't trust anything this nigga's saying. He's just interesting. And then you want to go somewhere, but too afraid to go somewhere else. And so you're still here, even though you might be a hater. Too afraid to leave because the abyss, the eternity of space is too cold. And that's what builds anxiety in people's minds, right? You don't know what's going to happen, but you know something's going to happen. And you have no meaning yourself. You're not sure how to do so even. It's a terrifying position to be in right now, and I think this anxiety that people are dealing with, it is like affecting their ability to focus, to think in a linear sense, and to be able to produce a story. I think that happens, don't you think?
Yeah, for sure. Like, I think it affects a lot more than just the ability to create a story, honestly. I think it affects even like the mundane brain activity. Like the ability to think, the ability to say no to yourself, the ability to just understand consequences to decisions,
Well, if we look at an
And
example,
a lot of us,
yeah.
yeah? No, you go.
I was gonna say, if we look at the example of people here, the endless anxiety see, here in Africa, no one talks about anxiety. It's mostly here in South Africa, thanks to all the American propaganda money coming in, that mental health has now been made aware of. Now, niggas here can be said he has autism. Nigga, you ain't got no autism. Your ass hasn't been beat. That's all there is to it. Ain't no African that has autism. You say you have autism, I will come there with my belt and fix it for you. You ain't got no autism, nigga. What you talking about? Right? So, amongst the people, anxiety has a cause. It's not that you're born with it. It's not that it's a disability. It's a temporary feeling caused by something. But now they want to label it as a disease that you will have for all eternity. So you got to buy the pills. Right? And I'm like, yeah, this is to make Arkham Asylum and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it ain't true. But because they believe it, or whether they don't believe it but unaware, they're incapable of producing anything that matters, anything that can be positive. And we have the state that we have right now, Africa, because people can't focus. It's either they drunk or they are angry, one of the two.
Yeah. No, I agree with you, man. I agree with you. Like everything you said, down from autism to the pharmaceutical stuff, like it's true. I mean, it's really a nuanced conversation because there's a lot you can bring up when it comes to how the West deals with problems, how we deal with problems here, pros and cons both ways. But I agree, man.
Mm-hmm. See, here you're not allowed to solve problems. There is no problem solving. Problem solving requires critical thinking. It's like a crazy female complaining to you about things at work, right? And if you use your logical brain, like, okay, how about you try to do this? That's you trying to solve the problem. She don't want the problem solved. She just wanna, complain about it and do nothing about it. And that's no different to like most voters of the ANC. They're not doing this. And then you're like, yeah, this is what we can try to do, and they just stare at you. So y'all like complaining, huh? Y'all don't want solutions. Y'all don't want to solve anything in a practical sense. And to some extent, maybe.
No, I was gonna say that actually a big part of solving the problem is identifying the problem. And most of the time, the problem is the person that's complaining and bringing you the problem.
Ah. Yeah, identifying the problem is step number one. And these dudes,
Exactly.
they can feel there's a problem, just can't recognize it, right? Just can't put a finger on it. And which builds the frustration of like, I'm angry, I'm pissed, I'm huffing and puffing, but I don't know what the problem is, type thing. So that's a damn disaster for them. Check the comments real quick,
Comments.
because Vidal killing me here.
Football Hub for Life says, "This is the spirit. Dudes in the backyard reliving our souls after slaying dragons. In the end, our conversations unconsciously bring us back to the sword."
Nice. Now that's some
That's
real talk right there, man.
Yeah, that's fire, bro. Fire.
Mhm. That's weird that hello?
Yo, what's up?
Okay. I thought my network was down. and I'm checking. It's back
It-
to normal now.
It's good now.
Yeah. Can you read that again?
Alright, that's good. Alright, let me go back to Saito. He says, at a point in time, considered myself to a degree an existential nihilist, where my core belief was that life has no inherent meaning, so it's your duty to give it meaning however you see fit. If anything, if you have the 9 to 5 mindset with whatever you do, that'll go a long way.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, and then I think he responds to the girl we were talking about. He says she is what we would consider a NEET.
What is that?
It's I think it stands for not in education. Education. What's the other E again? Not in education. Education, training, or employment. Yeah, not in education, employment, or training. It's like someone who checks out of reality and just stays home and shit. Doesn't work. Doesn't go to school.
If she was a man, would call her a bum and an abomination. But
Yeah.
because she's a girl, oh, it's fine, girl. Sit. Yes, queen, you got this. Just rot in the basement, girl. Nothing wrong. Be ashy. You know, don't shave them pits, girl. It's fine. Be 7,000 pounds. Do you know she's 7,000 pounds?
Nah, she's skinny, bro. She takes care of herself. She stays in. Her parents go to work, so she takes care of the house and stuff.
I don't give a damn, bro. Tell a nigga, let a dude do that. He bench presses 400 kilograms and he's still in the basement. He's a bum. See, that just ain't fair. But anyway, okay, she's a NEET. No, she's a bum. End of discussion. Straight up bum.
Rookie Rock Solid says, those streams were promised to me 3,000 years ago. What streams, bro?
What streams?
I don't know what he's talking about. But Bloodness X says, Pierce, how many chapters your manga gonna be in Coffee Originals? I'm not on Coffee Originals, bro. I don't have the product. I don't qualify. I'm ineligible. I don't qualify.
No product.
However, maybe one day I'll qualify. I don't know how many chapters though. I focus more on like character, story, plot when I'm writing my stuff. I don't plan out like the exact number of chapters. I just know how many arcs I want to cover in my stories to tell the whole thing, and then after that, and then I start jotting down everything. But I'm right now, well, once I finish one, I'll let you guys know, and you can read it somewhere, hopefully. Lindogu Semgumizulu says, good day, Coffee. Hope all is well. Quick question. Do you believe in this 2030 agenda and with SA's plans to enforce digital ID in 2029, if correct?
You know, I used to be heavily into that, but I don't have to believe it. It's happening. It's happening. It's going to happen. The Online Safety Act is rampaging the UK, and I don't know what makes people think that any one of us had online privacy to begin with. You never did. I don't know what made people think you actually had ownership to your current house right now, or you never did. You were born in a country that was in debt anyway, right? I mean, if the country's printing money, right, we're all in debt. We never owned jack. So, though I think it is alarmism in a way to tell people it's coming. It also adds to anxiety because ultimately there's nothing you can do about it. Ultimately, everything that matters online requires your ID. PayPal requires your ID, bro. Requires your proof of residence. Even Patreon does. Everything that matters online requires verification of who you are. And if any of those systems get compromised, you're doomed. Microsoft has my ID, has everything. They stole money from me, right? So, unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about it. I mean, it's always been there. It's just, I think we just were expecting something draconian when they tell us of this. We're expecting like North Korea, but in a way, we're in North Korea. They tell you, you're gonna be in North Korea, bro. It's gonna be like this, bro. But you've been in there, right? It's just a softer version. So, yeah, we deep inside of it, man. Just soft.
Alright. Time Linear says, so what do you mean is, wait, what? So what you mean is not find comfort. Like if I had ADHD and was too lazy to get up, and I say it's okay to be lazy, I'm a victim of ADHD and not because I'm just lazy.
I don't believe in ADHD. You're lazy. Just straight up lazy, bro. That's all there is to it. You don't want to get out of bed because you're lazy. There's nothing inspiring you, motivating you to get out of bed because you feel, well, I'm not going to get anything anyway. It's going to be boring anyway. So, yeah, you're just lazy, man. Ain't no such thing as ADHD.
Medajin says, hey guys, it's a fun dialogue.
Oh,
Hops on the stream. Nice. Thank you, sirs. Time
yeah,
Linear's back, and he says, what's the game you're playing, Coffee? It looks like a mod, right? Reminds me of that Dragon Ball game on the PSP.
yeah, it is Budokai 4, a modded version of Budokai 3. So yeah, that's the one.
Bloodness says, okay. I thought you would join the next issue. Can't wait when the time comes. Don't build up the hype, dog. but yeah, nah, man. Like, I'll let you guys know when I have the product. And then God T says, Coffee, I just want to say I have autism, and I completely disagree. I have a hard time communicating or controlling myself. Hitting a kid to be better is barbaric thinking.
I'm coming. I'm coming with that belt to your house, bro. I will fix it. Don't worry about it. I don't want to hear that.
Don't be a barbarian.
This is Africa, bro. What you expect, right? What do you expect? I'm coming with the belt. Because I'm telling you, bro, they say you have trouble. Look at the symptoms you have told us right here. You have trouble communicating. You can't control yourself. Those are things that you can fix, with discipline, with the full understanding that there are consequences for just running your mouth or not controlling yourself, right? Most people long time ago, self-mastery and self-control to the utmost degree, they'd call you a stoic. You can train yourself to be functional, to be in control of yourself. And now you are believing the trash that you are disabled, right? You are sick. You can't control yourself. Nah, man. People would classify me as autistic because I can just talk. But it's like, no, I'm just assertive. Assertiveness has disappeared and been replaced with toxicity and autism. It's a scam, bro. It's a scam. Don't believe this. So you're going to believe these crazy doctors, though, and call me a barbarian. But these doctors are making gang money out of people. Gang money out of you, making you believe that you're disabled, bro. Are you disabled? You're communicating now, right? If you run your mouth some more and say some crazy things, there's always going to be repercussions. And you just got to know that in this context, should I run my mouth or should I just chill? It's that simple, man. You ain't autistic. You're not. They just said you are.
Time Linear says, I didn't say I have ADHD. I said it as an example. I think he's talking about the one where he said lazy, something about lazy, not getting up and stuff. So
Well,
yeah.
whoever is not you, but whoever says they have it, and yada yada yada.
And then the last one is Rookie Rock Solid, and he asked you. Rookie Rock Solid says, "How did you come up with Jacob's design?"
Yeah, man, that's a nice question. The first time I designed him, he was actually known. I called the whole series the Crimson Prince, and what he's wearing, like his shirt, right? The shirt came to my mind right after I finished watching the movie called The King, starring Timothy. Is it Timothy Chalamet or Shala whatever? That guy who's in Dune, the main character in Dune. Yeah, that guy. I think that's
and
his.
Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, and Robert Patterson. I think that's his best movie. All the other movies, I don't like Dune. They're kind of lame, right? They look real cool there. So a lot of that medieval clothing, it was just in my mind when I designed him. And then when it comes to the context of which world he'll fit into and what he's gonna do, yeah, killing vampires. As for his hair, honestly, his hair didn't have the silhouette it has right now. That just developed over time. And I can't, it just happened on its own over time. But ultimately, his base was thanks to the movie The King. And then over time, it just developed into something else.
I love that movie, actually.
Right?
I've only seen it once. I have to rewatch it, but I really like the scene where Robert
Which one?
Pattinson's character is like falling
He's falling.
over in the mud
Oh yeah,
and stuff.
yeah. That part I didn't
Like,
really
oh,
understand. That's so like really, just like that. He let himself get
you
killed.
know when they're like doing like a duel
Yeah.
to. Yeah, even this was like stumbling over. You don't remember that scene? Then you don't like Dune, bro.
I don't know. I just don't like it, bro. I mean, to be honest, it's just not. Maybe it was too slow for me, and people were like, "You see, you're a hunchback. You don't have the patience." Nah, I just didn't like it. I didn't like the world building. I didn't like the politics. I just didn't like it, bro. It wasn't interesting enough for me.
No, I can understand that. I can understand that. However, bro, love it. Like I eat that up like expeditiously, bro.
Dune.
I'm a huge Dune guy, actually. I like it.
Nah, to each their own, bro. I mean, it's not bad. I'm not saying it's bad. I personally just don't like it.
Yeah, no, I can understand that. It is long. The first movie is difficult to get through. Every time I recommend it to people, they tell me like, "Yo, that first the whole movie's basically build up, bro."
And that's probably what turned me off.
And like the climax of the first movie is the second movie.
You see, and I didn't like the actors in there. I mean, Timothy's cool, but as soon as I saw Zendaya, I was like, nah, I'm done, bro. I'm done. So
She clocked out, bro.
I really, it's not because of her that I dislike the movie, but she added to it. So
Yeah. I understand that. Rookie Rock Solid says, no. I read that one. Time Linear says, I believe in autism and all that, but the thing people use it as an excuse and don't try to change and be better. That's true. I think my a whole take on the whole mental illness thing and the autisms and the ADHDs is that are you like once you get diagnosed with it, like what changes exactly? Are you buying medication? Why are you buying medication? Like I don't think I'm educated enough to talk about it because I don't really understand.
Neither are the
about it,
doctors.
honestly.
Neither are the damn doctors who are telling you are diagnosed with it. They just read a corrupted textbook, bro. Like, oh, you can't communicate very well, so you have autism. You can't control yourself. No, you're just lacking in self-control. That's it. That's it. Communication skill. There's something called communication science, right? You can learn how to communicate. Good grief. How in the world do y'all believe in these crazy doctors, man? It's nuts. Nah, bro. It's unacceptable.
For sure. But I agree with Time Linear. Like, just because someone tells you have something and now it's your whole personality, that says more about you than the actual thing that you're diagnosed with. If every time a problem arises, you're like, no, bro, it's okay. I got autism, so it's okay. Like, come on.
Sometimes it's
So
in
like,
people's bios, bro.
oh my god, not the bios. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that information if it's on your bios. Like, am I supposed to thread carefully or something? Like, I don't understand.
It's like a defense mechanism. If I cause any bullshit, just know it's because I have autism. No, you're just full of it, bro. You need your ass beat. That's it. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, but honestly though, I don't really understand anything about it. Like, if it's just you can't communicate, like I don't know, like if that's it, like, or is that just like a symptom that one person has personally, or like does it affect everyone differently? I have no idea how this thing works. So I'm just gonna like leave it at that and just read another comment. Bloodness says bloodness. Did you two watch the Spider-Verse and did you like it?
I did like it, bro. But I saw all the propaganda in it, which put a bad taste in my mouth. Now, I mostly like it because of Miguel O'Hara. Now, that's a G. He's exactly like me. I would have crushed Miles Morales to save the damn multiverse, right? But hey, look, he's being seen as the villain, right? The only masculine character is a villain. Peter Parker is a sissy boy that is running around with a little baby girl, and he's just a bitch ass, bro. What am I supposed to say? You got a pregnant black woman swinging, riding bikes. You know, there's a lot of horse crapping, but I truly can appreciate the amazing artistic value behind it. It's just, it's more, the artistic value is 10 times more than the trash that's in there, narratively and politically. So I was more captivated by the art, and thank goodness for Miguel. Otherwise, I would have hated it. What about you?
Yeah, that guy, Miguel O'Hara. You're a mistake. I like that guy. Oscar Isaac is kind of fire, man. Like, that guy, I'm actually, like, writing a video right now about Moon Knight. Have you seen Moon Knight?
The series?
Yeah.
It looked dreadful, bro, so no. But I know, well, the series did. The lore of Moon Knight, I'm not quite sure how it works. It's some Egyptian thing.
Yeah, it's like Egyptian mythology and so cool of the show, and that was actually so good. And then after that, they just like fell off a cliff, bro. I hated it because to this day, it's actually my favorite um, Marvel TV show. Honestly, I think it's behind Daredevil when it was still on Netflix, not the new one that's on Disney, but the original Daredevil that was on Netflix. That one's like the first one, I think, and then the second one is Moon Knight, and then the Punisher. I think I'm not sure. I have to rewatch some of them. But Moon Knight, I mostly like it because of potential, not because of what's there. So I can't recommend it to anyone. But I really, really, really like it, and I like Oscar. I like he's taking it. I think he's a great actor. And I like what they were trying to do, but again, I feel like the Marvel machine took over the production, and it just became a mess. But the first two episodes are so good, it hooked me immediately. Anyway, let me go back to Miguel Ojeda. He is really like the saving grace of the movie, like you said. You're right. You're right. And the artistic value of that movie is like insane. I can understand why it took so long to like release, and I think everyone understands that. That's why they're not rushing for the second one. They're like, yeah, man, just release it whenever it's ready, because they can see that they can actually deliver artistically. But the story, oh man, like I like the story as well. I can see your problems with it. The pregnant. I
Yeah.
actually didn't pay attention to all of that stuff, bro. Like, I actually did not pay attention to it. There was a Mexican guy, like an Indian Spider-Man, like a pregnant woman, like
I watched it
everybody's
a
there.
bunch of times. That's why I could end up noticing,
You watched the one a bunch of times?
I watched it a bunch of times. So I
Ah,
ended up
yeah, I only
noticing.
seen it like I only seen it once,
Yeah, you will notice, bro.
so maybe maybe some of the stuff went over my head. But I really like the whole concept of um, sacrifice, like the philosophical question: would you save one person for a multiverse? That whole third act was really well done. I think, in my opinion, like the whole thing was well done. And there's this other guy that's an instigator, like the guy
The whole man.
from the UK.
Wait, the guy. You mean the villain with the holes, or which one?
Yeah, no, no, no. That's no, no, no. I mean the other Spider-Man. That was like that's the Black Spider-Man. He's like from the UK or
Oh,
whatever.
that one.
He was like instigating. There's another also the Spider-Man that they're getting Miles like to explode and stuff. I think he was my favorite character in the movie, besides O'Hara. Yeah, besides O'Hara, I think he was pretty good as well. But O'Hara, bro, his resting face is so good. It's so emotionless. Like they captured that so well in the artistic side, because you can tell that this is a tired guy. He's been through everything, and he understands the toll, the consequences, and everything. And when he's telling Miles that, dude, I was where you are right now, and he was right, because at the end of the movie, you can see that Miles is in another universe now, and it's like a whole mess. Should have listened.
Should have listened. And movies like this, in a way, I don't like them at heart, because if Miles is the main character, right, he's really not likable, and I disagree with his mission. You want to save your dad, cool, but the the multiverse dictates that all Spider-Man will lose somebody important to them. It's not easy, but the problem is I'm not rooting for Miles. I see him as retarded, not even naive, just straight up stupid. There's nothing about him that I actually like, bro. It's like a guy who found himself in a situation and he adapts to it, but he doesn't have any values in him like Peter Parker. With great power comes great responsibility. Then he tries to live up to that. But what about Miles? What is he trying to live up to? He's just a nigga with spider powers with Jordans, bro. And I'm like, you see, this is some bullshit. I just can't. But Miguel, you see what he's trying to fight for, defend, where he's been, and so on. That's why he's likable, because he's got intrinsic values. Even though they might be extreme, it doesn't matter. Thanos is more likable. He's got an intrinsic value, though extreme, but that's what makes him different. what makes him unique. Not just some floating, everything is cool with, you know, type of character. Like, nah, man, you're not cool if you don't stand on business. Just not.
Yeah. I mean, uh, it's a good movie though. Good movie. I actually do think those movies are slightly overrated though. I heard people say they are the best Spider-Man media ever.
Now, those people are straight up insane.
Like
Yeah.
they're really good. I hate it when people start throwing around like ever. The word ever needs to be taken away because it just takes away from um it gives urgency somehow. I don't know, like why do we have such recency bias? I don't understand. I was watching someone talk about was on TikTok. I was watching someone talk about Tobey Maguire and they were like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man is slowly becoming underrated. Slowly. Because right now everyone is saying Andrew Garfield has the best Spider-Man.
I don't know
And then
why,
next to it,
but yeah.
yeah, Andrew Garfield has the best Spider-Man apparently, and then it's Tom Holland, and then it's Miles Morales, and then it's Tobey Maguire apparently. I'm like, how?
Nah, bro, those are just, you know, Gen Alpha, Gen Z hunchbacks, bro. And I bet you it's
Dude,
mostly to spite the older generation. Remember, these people are without any intrinsic value in them. Their collective subconscious is an abyss of emptiness. Versus some of us, our subconscious is actually rooted in the old world. So we are able to connect with one another because we can relate with something that was filled with the depth and soul of the old world, which is the Tobey Maguire one. And so these people who are, well, they are void of these values and so on, they can't like it the same, so they mock it, right? They mock it, and they are more like Miles Morales. They find themselves living, and then they just have to adapt. So they get their Jordans on, and they are flipping superpowers, and they just swing around, hang around, and wait for something bad to happen. They don't pursue anything. They just wait for something, and instead of actually making it better, they corrupt it. So I wouldn't even take them seriously anymore, bro. Like, just monsters.
nah, I hear you, man. I hear you. But the people I'm people your age, bro, and older than me, nerds. I actually have a big problem with internet nerds, man. Like, every time when I hear their takes, I just get so upset for no reason, and I don't understand why I'm getting upset because these people are like, the internet thinks, you know how like nerds are the people now. Like back in the day, they used to be shunned and all the stuff that happened, and now because nerdy things are popular now, they are kind of like the people with authority on the fields, right? Spider-Man is popular now, so people who read Spider-Man comics back in the day, who know Spider-Man lore, are like the guys who are the authority on the subject right now. There's these nerds, bro. They're saying the most outrageous things you can think of, bro. And they're like older than me. So not everyone in Gen Alpha is like that. Some of them is like, your people, bro. These are your people. And they're saying some stuff like, oh, Tobey Maguire is like not even a great Spider-Man. He's not the strongest Spider-Man. His stories has no depth and stuff. I'm like, bro, I don't understand why people think Tom Holland is a good Spider-Man. I don't understand how that happened.
I think.
Because
Uh huh.
in that guy's movies, all of his villains are Iron Man villains. That's the first thing. Every villain he fights is like angry at Iron Man, not him. He is like second fiddle. Another thing is that those movies are so bad, they had to correct them with the last one by resetting the timeline and everything. That's how bad those movies are.
Good point.
They literally have restart the whole trilogy and make a new one just to correct everything we know about the guy. His suits, he got it from Tony. His villains are Tony's. The Vulture's mad at Tony. Mysterio's mad at Tony. And then in the third one, it's not even his villains. It's like older Spider-Man villains, bro. Like,
Yeah, that is true.
I, I need, man, I need a big fan of Tom Holland to tell me. Oh, I'm very open-minded. I'll listen. I won't even interject. I promise, right? I need them to tell me why Tom Holland is the greatest Spider-Man ever. Because even with feats, bro, even with like physical feats, I saw a video of him when he was crazy angry, like in the third. You watched the third movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, with all the three Spider-Mans. There's a scene by the end where he's like not holding back, right? And he's beating Green Goblin and stuff. And then as he's about to kill him, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man steps up and just stops him with a straight face, and he looks at him. He's not even giving it his all. He's just stopping him, and he's just holding him down. How is this the best Spider-Man if he's like not holding back, and he's fighting against a Spider-Man that's clearly holding back and is just trying to stop him, and he can't even do shit, bro? What are you talking about? That is just not even physical strength, bro. Not even physical strength. Moral strength. Mental strength. Yeah, I get it. He's a new Spider-Man. His aunt just died and everything. But the whole thing about Tom Holland is that they should have just said, this is a prequel trilogy. Don't take it seriously. Like, yeah, we're still building him up and stuff. Okay. But now people just think he's the best Spider-Man. Like, I don't understand.
Well, man, it's like the people who are saying
Thematically,
James,
I don't get it.
it's no different to the people who are saying.
Action-wise, maybe.
Hello?
What are you saying, bro? Yeah?
Yo, this connection is weird, bro. It's like you can talk, right? And then there's lag, and then you talk over the lag.
That's crazy. Because my internet is good right now.
Well,
But
I hope others are not hearing what I'm hearing.
it would be a horrible experience.
Well, we in Africa. Hey, y'all, this is the African internet. What can you do? But now I agree with you that the Tom Holland Spider-Man just ain't it, bro. And again, they have Zendaya in there. Michelle, what's her name? Michelle James? Like, she...
Jones, I don't know.
Jones,
I don't know.
bruh, she ashy and busted, nasty, looking homeless, you know. And Zendaya there is without makeup. That's what she really looks like. She looks like a Cape Cod who sells crack at the bus station. But everybody was like, she's so extravagant. Like, did you see her as Michelle Jones? Did you see her in general without makeup? Please, y'all, stop hyping up these people who are mid. She's the definition of mid. And every movie she stars in, she's always playing this crude, bitchy character. And it's like, she's always playing one character. Always. Come on, people. But anyway. Yeah, Tom Holland sucks as a Spider-Man. Never liked him. And you're right, there are people my age and older who are like, yeah, Toby sucks. They are obviously a hunchback. But now we are all having these moral wars and viewpoints because the natural consensus on the standard has been broken. Now we struggle to agree on anything. Now a hunchback can say, this is the way. You say, that is the way. Well, I don't care why you say that. It just is. Like, that's why a hunchback should be put in a gulag. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, man. I just get like... I just really like Tobey Maguire's movies. I actually also like Andrew Garfield's movies. Even the second one, I think is like not that bad as everyone's saying is horrible. I think it has its problems, but I actually like it. I like Jamie Foxx in it. I like Emma Stone. I really like that her character dies and it teaches Andrew like a lesson, and he has to get over that. I really like that.
Yeah, although I didn't like Jamie Foxx in there. You don't remember me? It's my birthday. Like, what the hell is that, bro? Ah, honestly. Now, visually, The Amazing Spider Man was really great visually, you know.
Oh yeah, I think
But,
visually it's the best actually.
yeah, it is the best visually. But, man, in terms of heart, sure, Emma Stone die in the end. Okay, nice. But the motivations for Jamie Foxx is just ass, bro. Straight up ass. I can't take
Yeah,
it
that's true.
seriously. You know, it's not a clash of philosophies like Green Goblin versus Peter. It was something.
Yeah,
You know, Doctor Octopus,
yeah.
same
I think
thing. Go ahead.
no, man. I completely agree. I completely agree. Electro in that movie is just. I don't think he's even a villain. I think he's like a sidekick or something. I don't know. Even Harry, like in that movie, is like not really buying it. Not really buying it.
Exactly.
That's why I even like the whole climax. I think is Emma Stone dying. That's the climax of the movie for me. Not the fight, not the build up to the fight. Nothing. The climax for me is just like, especially when you rewatch it and you know that she dies in the end. Everything like it just makes sense. It's building up to dying because, and it's satisfying. The movie builds up to it. That's the only thing I feel like pays off in the movie.
Well, in the end, I only watched it like once. That's how much I didn't like it, bro. It doesn't have replay value for me. I'm no longer impressed by spectacle visuals anymore. I need substance. It's like manga now. I don't care how good the
Sure.
art is. I don't care how good the anime is with the animation. If you ain't got no substance, you're not impressing me. Not at all.
Yeah, I can understand that. But like maybe that's why we like Toby. Toby doesn't have the flair. He doesn't have the best suits like Tom Holland. He doesn't have like great aesthetics like Andrew. Dude, there's this one scene in the Andrew movies where he's swinging in first perspective, and he's swinging and swinging, and he lands on a building, and it's like a reflection of him. Oh, that scene is like the best Spider-Man scene, I think. Period. But yeah, let me read some of the comments. Um, Bloodness says the pregnant woman biker was deaf. Lol. You mean she was deaf? Is it like she can't hear?
No, she could. I mean, she
Or
was
you
talking
think?
to people.
Oh, I think he means was definitely. Okay, I get it now. She was like definitely like. And then he says, but man, the artistic direction was just insane. Now a lot of new gen is copying them. You guys should definitely watch To Be Hero X. It's one of the best animes for me this year. You're actually the second person to recommend that anime to me.
I tried, bro. I tried. That's
Oh,
the
you watched it?
Isn't that about the guy who looks like a superhero, and because the real one ended up committing suicide? It's that one, right?
Yeah, I don't know about it, bro. I have no idea.
I'm sorry, y'all, but as I said, I don't have the capacity for new things anymore. I've heard it all, seen it all. Just because it looks nice, you can't show me anything new. So I just want to watch the last season of Bleach, and that'll be the end of it. Then I'm done. Done with anime after that. It's over. So I
Uh,
cannot be a consumer anymore, man. I'm not. Like right now, I could be playing Sparking Zero, even though it's a garbage game. But because I have standards, man, I didn't buy the game. Because I'm like, this game is not what we all were hoping for. So I'm not gonna buy it. I'm not a senseless consumer. No thanks.
I does it have a manga? I might read the manga, bro. Animes are like so time consuming for me now.
Let me See,
I might read the manga though, because I like to read before I go to sleep. But
that's a nice habit.
if it has a manga, I'm gonna read. Let me read some of the other ones. And then it's a matter. Oh, luck. Luck art says, and then it's a matter of time before it gets out of the trend. Same with the arcane art style. I saw the new Bagubali animation trailer and I was like, why does it look exactly like Arcane? I get inspiration, but when you copy something that unique too much, it stops being unique to me. Why not do something unique too? Yeah, that Arcane art style is like blowing up right now.
Well, thankfully, I saw the Bahubali um, trailer too. I've watched both the Bahubali movies. They are amazing. I never knew the character Bahubali even existed, but he's from the Hindu mythologies, gods and whatnot. Amazing movie, bro. And now it's like a sequel, but in his spirit form. Yes, I understand that they jacking the art style of Arcane, but it's because the French director who was part of the Arcane thing is leading the charge in the Bahubali movie. And thankfully, right, if you don't have the general context of what Bahubali is about, you might not be as excited and you might just be turned off by the fact that it just stole this art style. But if you know the context, you know the mythos, you're gonna be like, hell yeah, this looks so cool, and so on. So
No idea what you guys are talking about, but I'll check it out.
yeah, check it out,
And then the Black Swan story says, is the new magazine dropping quarterly?
man. No, monthly. Monthly, man. We coming up with a fresh new issue this very month in November. Issue 3 coming out
Nice.
this month.
Nice, nice, nice. Blendner says, Luck, always responding to Luck. True, matter of time, people will start calling that style generic. Yo, it's crazy. Because when Arcane came out in 20... When did it came? I don't know. I don't remember the year. But when it came out, that art style was beautiful, man. It was so unique back then. Now I've seen a lot of stuff with that art style. And soon it will be generic, that's true. It's like what Syndrome said. When everyone's a superhero, no one will be.
Well, for me, as long as there's substance, bro, people can complain about the surface level garbage, man. It's like complaining about Superman's underwear all over again. Like, come on, people. It's what's inside that matters. Like, without the underwear, he's not Superman. Without the, like, nigga, are you serious, man? Okay, they gave us a Superman with the underwear, and it's a complete disaster. You know?
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
come on.
Yeah. Lux says, yeah, that's the way of the generation law. They move on really quickly. I guess he's talking about the Spider-Man thing. Bluntness says, well, the thing about Tom Holland is mostly for its youth. His youth side carries his acting. It's fitting for what Spider-Man persona is. Oh, they like him because he's young?
That is so surface level. That's exactly what I'm talking about. It's the wrong reasons, bro. Well, he's young, so he's suitable. Like, man, do you hear yourself? Come on. Come on. And because he's so short. You know, he's short, just like how Spider-Man should be. Like, come on. In fact, Tobey Maguire was the most physically built of all the 3 Spider-Men, bro. Have you noticed that?
Oh, man. Yeah, he's like the buffest one. All the other 2 are so skinny.
Bruh, and Andrew is too tall. He was tall as hell and skinny as hell. It's like, nah, at least Tom Holland got some base on him, but still, he's just a squeege. So screw him.
Blendon says, and then translate perfectly to the masses. Oh, he's continuing from what he said. Okay, okay. Ricky Rockstar says Germany has worse internet.
Ah, there's no way, bro.
Yeah, I don't believe that, bro. Come on.
Yeah, of course. We're not gonna believe that, man. I mean, come on now. No way.
Oh, okay, okay. Marlon, Marlon David says, watch City Hunter. City Hunter is a 1980s anime.
I
Interesting.
heard. I think I saw a post on it before on Twitter. I'll have a look.
I think I'll also have a look. If it's 1980s, I'll definitely have a look, bro.
Yeah, no promises though.
Demonic,
You know,
Demonic Ryu says, what about Xenoverse?
Xenoverse.
Yeah, the game, Dragon Ball Xenoverse, I think.
Oh, well, I have it, but on my Xbox One. It's a nice game. I hope they make a Xenoverse 3 and just update the thing. It's a very nice game.
Yeah, it has a lot of mods too. Yo,
And a lot of content, official content also. So you just can't go wrong with that game.
yeah, people like it a lot. And then Time Linear says, I didn't like Batman v Superman. Lex Luthor's motivation was bad and dumb, but visually it was 10 out of 10. The Batman scenes were peak.
That's Zack Snyder for you. You know, I think Lex Luthor's motivations were just executed wrong. Because them choosing Jesse Eisenberg as the spoiled rich kid with issues just made him seem so unserious, made it seem ridiculous, unbelievable. So we have a negative bias to his motivations in general because of the because it's just of the bad performance. Not that he's a bad actor. It's just it was executed wrong. But oh well.
Yeah, I think I agree with the execution not being the best, but I don't think the motivation was bad.
Yeah,
I think the
maybe.
motivation was just not great. Because the character of Lex Luthor in that movie is supposed to, I think, this is just my analysis, it was supposed to kind of parallel Bruce Wayne in a way. Because they both want the same thing, right? They want to kill Superman. And they both have money. They're both rich. But they both going at it in like different ways, and they're both different people, like polar opposites. Right? Batman doesn't talk a lot. He just listens and he says some dumb shit and then he goes. But Lex Luthor's always talking. Like he's always trying to prove to everybody that he's the smartest in the room. He's always trying to get what he wants, and he always has like everyone pegged. He's always 3 steps ahead, right? He's always like he doesn't know that Superman's being framed. He doesn't know everything. So I felt like the Lex Luthor, the motivations movie, he's always put his victims next behind to Bruce Wayne, like Batman in the movie. They kind of become very good parallels in a way. If you look at it in that way, I think the motivations kind of like become a bit better. I don't think the motivations were bad. I think the execution was not great at all. But Lex Luthor's character motivations are pretty good in that movie.
Yeah. I like the movie overall. I just hated Superman dying. I get it, but I think it was too soon. If there was a Man of Steel 2, then Batman v Superman, then he dies there, it would have been better, but in a way, that's what Zack Snyder wanted to do, but Warner Brothers screwed him over.
Yeah. I remember when you were talking about the plans, how you wanted to make a Man of Steel 2 before anything else, and then they're like, nah, bro, we gotta compete with Avengers, bro.
Yeah.
Which sucks, but anyway. Um, Time Linear says, Usogui, Usogui is a really good manga. You forgot to say manga. Usogui is a really good manga. I highly recommend it. It is good. You recommended it last time, and I actually read it, like the first 5 chapters or something. It's
What's it
actually
about?
pretty good, actually.
What is it about?
I don't know yet.
You
I
don't know
don't know,
what
honestly.
it's about?
I don't know yet. It has a lot of chapters.
What?
Yes, I read like the first 5 chapters.
And you still don't know what it's about?
I'm not sure, bro.
What in the world? How the hell is it good if you don't know what it's about?
Because I'm hooked, bro.
You're hooked on something you don't know about?
I don't want to give you the basic surface level plot, man. Like, I know what you're asking me. You're asking me, like, what is it about? Like, what's the meat? What's the bones? Right now, I would just give you the skin.
Okay.
You want me to tell you what happened in
Yeah,
chapter 1?
Yeah.
That's based, this that doesn't look like what happens in chapter 1 is like what happens in the whole story. That's not what it seems like. It also has a live action, actually. That's how I found it. When I was looking for it, I saw live action first. I was like, oh, is that popular?
Oh, okay. I guess I'll have to look it up.
But actually, I don't think you should watch the live action. I think you should read it. I don't know if it has an anime, though.
Alright.
I don't think it does. But so far, it's about like a gambler. That's what I didn't want to tell you.
Oh, okay.
You see, it's like about a gambler. But I think there's more to it. That's why I didn't want to say anything.
Nah, it's fine. I'll have to look it up myself then.
Yeah, but I am reading the manga because he recommended it like the last time I was on stream, and I read like I actually pay attention to what these guys recommend when they recommend stuff. Like, but I just tell them like if it's a manga, I'll check it out. But if it's an anime, I don't know, man. I can't make any promises.
It's cool.
Yeah, manga is like much easier to consume than anime at this point, bro. But anyway, whoa, he says Bakuma Darame. Bakuma Madarame is such a interesting character. People argue he's a better manipulator than Light from Death Note. I think Light is very overhyped, honestly. Like,
oh yeah.
yeah, like maybe I haven't watched Death Note in a long time, but I'm about to rewatch it.
Now the
But
guy,
I think people forget.
he's a genius, bro, in that manipulation game. But I understand what you're saying. In a way, there wasn't enough where he wasn't manipulating more people. I mean, he manipulated an entire police force, even the U.S. president. That's very impressive. But I think it's just because it just wasn't enough. We wanted to see more of his conniving, sniveling, mischievous ways. But oh well.
You know why I think Light is overhyped? And me saying this, guys, don't think I'm saying he's a bad character. I think he's a very good character. But I think in the universe of Death Note, he's only smarter than everyone because he knows the rules. He's the only guy who knows the rules.
Oh, okay.
That's how he's getting away with everything. So I'm not sure if he's like... That's why I've always thought that L was way smarter than Light. Because L was cornering Kira without even knowing the rules of the Death Note until by the end. And when he found out about the Death Note and he found out the rules, Kira had to kill him. There was no way he was surviving with L knowing the rules of the book, if you think about it.
Yeah.
That's why Light was so ahead of everyone else. Even the girl who was a detective like a retired detective. I think her name was Naomi or something. I forgot her name. But she was so smart. He had to kill her way early in the story. Those
Yeah.
are actually the smart characters of Death Note, in my opinion. That girl, I think she was married to Pember, like the guy who was a detective, but he was not that smart. She like he basically asked for her name, was like trying to get her name the whole episode, and then by the end he gets it by tricking her. I think that was pretty smart when he was tricking her, telling her, "Oh yeah, my dad is he's like the chief here. I work here. I'm trying to work on the Kira case as well." Manipulating her, that was pretty smart. But that girl, she was gonna crack the case, bro. I promise you. That's why she had to go. And then L got Kira pegged episode 2, bro. Episode 2. Tricked him. Done. The moment when they placed the decoy on the TV and Light killed the decoy, he was pegged already. Like, it was done. They knew he was in Japan. They knew he's which district of Japan. Like, if you rewatch it with the information that Light is smarter because he knows the rules, that's why I always say the second half of Death Note isn't as bad as everyone is saying. They're just mad because now the detectives know the rules and they're cracking down on it much faster than L was. It doesn't mean they're smarter than L. It just means they have the rules now. That's it.
That's true. That's a good point.
So, yeah. So I don't like it when they say he's the best manipulator or he's the smartest in anime. Not really. Not really.
Now, anyone who said that is crazy. People would say Aizen is, but also I think Aizen is overhyped like crazy. Now Aizen is way overhyped, bro. Like his power level's overhyped. It's actually, it feels like an ass pull in terms of Aizen's power. Complete hypnosis. We still don't know his Bankai, let alone Shikai. Him orchestrating everything.
I'm always arguing with the homie of mine. I'm always arguing. I'm telling him Aizen doesn't have a Bankai, bro. I don't think he does have one. I'm always arguing with the homie of mine about it.
Nah, I don't think he does. Well, it doesn't need it since he merged with the Hogoku, but still.
Exactly. But yeah, that's my 2 cents on Light Yagami. But anyway, let me read some more. Lol, Coffee, that context of Superman underwear was just and hilarious. Sometimes you killing me, man.
That's what I do, man.
That's why I was laughing too. Well, you said it's not the underwear. It's about what's inside. That was funny.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It's not about the underwear, people.
If you run back the tape, when you said that, I just giggled, bro. I was like, yo, pause, bro.
Hey, I mean, y'all the one who gotta put the pause up in there.
Context.
Yeah, I knew what I was talking
Context.
about. Yeah.
Alright.
Is that all the comments?
Yeah, that's on us, bro. That's on us. No, still a few. Let me get through them. Luck says, Pierce, at this point, you might as well just ignore comments that overrate everything. Anyone will call literally anything peak, best ever, or absolute cinema. Those words, phrases have lost value.
Yeah. And fire.
That's
Fire,
true,
bro. Fire. So,
let me read the next one. Coffee, did you see the cyberpunk anime?
yeah.
That got severely glazed recently, and my standard got set so high I ended up not understanding why people say it's so good.
Wait, recently? There's a recent cyberpunk anime? I thought maybe he was talking about cyberpunk. The one Rafal Jockey wrote. So I don't know if he's talking about a new one.
I think it's talking about Edge Runners. I'm not sure if there's a new one though. I don't know.
Yeah, I liked Edge Runners. I rewatched it a bunch of times, but in all honesty, it's very demoralizing. So, on a visual aspect, phenomenal.
I think it's good because of that.
Yeah, and to show the dystopian future, it
I like it
expressed a lot of anxieties of,
because it's so demoralized.
yeah, of our future and so on, and especially how the system works, how dudes were like squeezing one off with a machine attached to their mushroom, bro. I was like, damn, that is the future. You know, that is the
Yep.
future, bro.
Yep.
So I liked it because it presented the future rather accurately. Um, that's
Yeah.
the only reason. But it was demoralizing. The guy dying like that in the end. I don't even know what he was fighting for, bro. So yeah,
Dude, Cyberpunk. To me, I think Cyberpunk Edge Runners is like really good. I think the demoralizing aspect of it is really, it's really the point of the whole thing.
right.
And him dying like that at the end, um, it really shows how the city eats people up in the context of the world of cyberpunk. But you can really like correlate it to the real world, how corporate just sucks up people until they die, right? And it was so crazy because his mom was busy telling him like, yo, you need to go to the top of the tower, bro. Like you need to work hard until you get to the top of the tower. It's like what you always say, like grandma lied, bro. Grandma lied. I
She
feel like
lied.
the show encapsulates that really perfectly. Like, because when you watch the show, like you know that like if he goes corpo, he's still gonna die the same way he died with the way he died. It's just gonna be different, right? He was always gonna die, even if he did what his mother told him.
Right. It was inevitable.
It's just such a good show, man. Like, yeah, it was inevitable. Maybe I'm too invested in it because like I'm actually a huge cyberpunk guy. Like the game, the lore. I mean, like both of them, the '80s ones and the Denis Villeneuve ones. So I'm just very invested in the whole cyberpunk aesthetic and the lore and everything. But yeah, I really like it. I really like it. But let me read some more comments. It's Marlon says it's very different. I'm making my manga similar to it in structure, but obviously the premise and themes are completely different. What are you talking about? Oh, City Hunter. I think it's talking about City Hunter.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Lux says, these days I just go around watching more not. I just go around watching more non-mainstream anime because of that. I get the full original experience that way. Just finished this one called To Your Eternity. And what do you think about Sui Ishida's Shoujo X? People claim it's the best new gen manga. To Your Eternity has a manga, bro. I don't think that's
It has an anime too.
yeah, I read the manga. I thought he meant like original anime. Well, I guess he says original experience. Sorry, my bad. I thought he said original anime. Because I read the manga like a long time ago.
Well, I tried to watch the anime when it came out. It was interesting, but I didn't have time for a soulless husk trying to find some form of purpose. I'm like, man, we've been here before. I don't care. I really don't care.
Have you read Chojin X?
Oh yeah, I did. It definitely ain't bad at all. It's interesting, but I just don't have the capacity anymore. Like my mind is too full, guys. I really can't consume new stuff like that anymore. I think the old stuff, it's good enough, man, to keep me alive and going. I'm not saying don't read new stuff. I'm just saying for me, my capacity is overflowing now. I don't have the space anymore.
Marlon says hooked on that win. Hooked on the win, bro. Coffee, why you always vex, bro? You guys are too funny. What do you mean vex?
Yeah,
Always vex. What?
what does that mean? Wait,
What?
vexing? Doesn't that mean like complaining in a way?
I don't know. I don't know what vex means. Why you always vex, bro?
Well, if it does mean complaining or tired, because I'm in the damn jungle, man. Gotta deal with these niggas. That's why.
Yeah. God T says, I thought the movie was okay, but I was really hoping for Crypto Dog turns evil or Lex uses kryptonite rabies him. What? And Superman doesn't want to harm him. Had to figure out a solution. What are you talking? Are you talking about the new Superman, bro?
Yeah, too bad it was just about where's the dog? Only to find out the dog belongs to a flippin' drunk who comes out of nowhere. So
Lux says, I liked To Be Hero X. Very complex superhero story. Well, to be honest, I'll probably give any superhero story I come across a chance, since it's my favorite genre. Unfortunately, not many are doing it right. To Be Hero X was good though, so I definitely recommend. I won't say it's for everyone since it's a big complex though. But when the pieces come together, it's fire. Does it have a manga? That's my question.
I don't think so.
If it has a manga, I'll check it out. I don't mind. Gati says Dark Crypto would have been cool to see. What's Dark Crypto?
It's Superman's dog.
Yeah, but like, what's Dark Crypto? I know Crypto is Superman's dog. Is it like an evil version of the dog?
Well, I'm sure that's a valid assumption. Yeah.
JBZ says also David had no dreams. He was following someone else's dream and he got killed by it. He didn't have a reason of being. He was literally a bot.
Exactly. That's why. You remember that one scene where he was all buff and just sitting in front of the screen all night long? Dude, that was just so demoralizing. So what was the point of getting all that strength and power just to sit butt naked in front of the screen? To the point where he was just so absent from his current life, not even really looking at the screen. He got some booty upstairs right there and he don't even care to, have a slice anymore. Like he didn't want to be alive.
Exactly.
So,
That's the point. Like, it's a cautionary tale, right? It's like you said. It's the future, but it's also happening now.
yeah, it is. It is, man.
Also happening now. And man, like when he was sitting there dazed and stuff, like, oh, dude, like it's crazy because we saw this guy episode 1 on the come up. He's getting bullied. He's fighting back, and we saw his whole story. It's like anyone can turn into that. I think that was the point. Like no one is born a hunchback, bro.
Oh, really?
Everyone has the capacity, dude. Everyone has the capacity to be a hunchback.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, you can be
Everyone has
dragged
the capacity.
down.
Everyone. Yeah. So I feel like the whole thing that it hurts us when we see him like that because we saw him before that.
Right.
He was smart. He was in the school with a bunch of spoiled brats, and he was like someone who was headed somewhere. Even though he was following someone else's dream, he had the chops, bro. He had the chops to be anything, right? And when you see him like that, even by the end, when his mind is gone, he's fried, he's a cyber psycho, like, it's sad. That's the whole point.
Absolutely. But I ain't gonna lie, man. Like, in this world right now, we need that noble lie Plato spoke about. We need it. I mean, bad has always won, has always been in control.
Yeah.
But without a noble lie, you turn into David, bro, dazed out, looking at the screen. You need a noble lie. Humans. Here's a quote I heard recently from one guy. I forgot the philosopher's name, but his theory of the universe is God blew himself up and we are part of his molecules. But anyway, he said it's deep and sad. He said, well, he was lonely and miserable, so he blew himself up. But anyway, he said also, the truth of life is death. That's why life is filled with lies. Just think about that.
Damn.
Exactly. So when
That's
Plato
kinda-
says the noble lie, I understand why he said that. The Republic, that book he wrote about the Republic and what it means to be in a society, I understand it's necessary to some extent. Even Nietzsche said, truth, not everyone can handle it. And we must be able to distinguish between natural truth, which is an obvious conclusion that water is wet, right? Stealing is wrong because you wouldn't like stuff to be stolen from you. But then he said there's metaphysical truth also, where it doesn't matter if it's true, as long as it promotes life itself, it's fine. It's fine. You know, it doesn't have to be true. It just has to promote life. It has to allow the human being to be happy being alive. And this is why he hated Christianity so much and favored Islam, actually. He said Islam allows the man, or it's aligned with the instincts of a man. That's Islam. Where Christianity kind of castrates you as a man. So I was like, damn, Nietzsche, I hear what you're saying. The celebration of life is the key. It doesn't matter if it's right, if it's true or not. As long as you live, that's what matters.
Nice. Bars.
Yeah. Is that all of them?
And then, Time Linear says, nah, dude, I still got like 5 or 6 left. Time Linear says, this movie is about the game of life. The fact that we're alive means we're winning. Don't spoil it for us, bro. Don't spoil it for us. Come on now.
That's a very nice,
then,
belief right there. The fact that we're alive, we're winning. I guess the guy who's in jail, falsely accused, is winning also. You see, that's the problem with too much of an absurdity, bro. That it sounds nice, but it's legit absurd, bro. Guy didn't do anything wrong. He's in jail. Tyrone, he's taking his booty, bro. So
oh my god.
that's the problem.
Dude. Okay. Rookie Rock Solid says those Ronin episodes from Star Wars Visions were also very cool. They are 3D and black and white with energy blasts, explosions, and lightsaber beams colored. It's fire. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, he's talking about the new. I'm sure you've seen Star Wars Visions, the animated series. You never saw it?
Nah, the only animated show I've seen was Clone Wars.
Well, honestly, Visions is just short stories that is just happening in the Jedi world or the Star Wars world. I saw the new season and that first episode where it's black and white. It was demoralizing. Very demoralizing, man. They have broken the balance of the Force. It's broken. And I'm like, man, I'm switching this off. Then I moved on, bro. I didn't even bother watching new episodes.
Now, if it's short stories, maybe I'll check it out.
It's very artistic. The artistic value in it is profoundly amazing.
says, yeah, I think L was smarter too.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Huh. Gluck says, yeah, I think L was smarter too. Unfortunately, he got replaced. Why is that unfortunate?
People really don't like
I
Nier.
don't know why you think that's unfortunate, sir. I'll check it out. They don't like what?
They don't like Nier. His replacement.
Oh. Oh, why? Why don't they like Nier?
I don't know. There's no legitimate argument why.
I need you to explain that, Luck. Why was it bad that he got replaced? Why is it unfortunate? Time Linear says, an anime manga I will always defend is Beyblade Metal Fight. It seems just like another manga to sell toys, but it's got depth, amazing villains, and the manga is different from the anime. I recommend the manga. The author is super chill. In the live stream, he explained some lore about a villain, but I think the editors weren't a fan of it.
Okay.
That's kind of sad, though. But maybe that's why you know Beyblade right now, because of the editors.
Exactly when they used to do their job.
JBZ says his mom lied to him too. He thought he was special because his mom told him. That got him to believe he can handle being chromed up, and that in turn got him insane to Cyber Psycho, basically a bot.
You see, this is the problem with mama, bro. Mama and grandma, they're gonna get you killed, man.
True. They lied. And then Luck says, nah, to be Hero X doesn't have a source material. I think it's an original dongo. That just demotivates me, bro. But I'll check it out. I'll try my best. Fatal J says, Coffee, what's up? I see you and Young Wavy drop in the manga magazine. Can't wait to pick it up. We need a Ronin Star Wars movie. Everything else in Star Wars sucks. The same guy who made the Ronin Star Wars made the Afro Samurai manga anime.
Oh, how interesting.
Yeah, and then the last one is Luck, and he says, been reading books on philosophy recently. Been very helpful in my writing. That's the last comment.
Alright. Y'all be careful with that philosophy. It can drag you down to a deep, deep hole. And you might not be able to climb back up, you know? But,
Yep.
who be trying to call me? But anyway, that's it for now. Thanks for Fatal J for the support. We're dropping issue 3 later this month. But that's it, y'all. This was the first of many garage talks, you know. Y'all want that serious, real caffeine? Well, you know where to find it on that Patreon, man. Otherwise, you're just gonna hear two dudes in the African jungle just yapping and playing some games. But alrighty. I'm gonna end the stream here then. Okay.